onto the dais. I invite Honorable Mr. Justice A.J. Desai, Chief Justice, High Court of Kerala, Swami Bhuvanatmananda, Ramakrishna Math Ashrama, Advocate Dr. M. Rajendra Kumar, State President, Bharatiya Abhibhashaka Parishad, Advocate I. Sheila Devi, High Court Unit President, Bharatiya Abhibhashaka Parishad, Advocate M. N. Manmadan, Inaugural District President, Bharatiya Abhibhashaka Parishad, Advocate Vishnu Jayapalan, Advocate Vivek A.V., and Advocate Alka Varia onto the dais.
जब तक जीना तब तक सीखना अनुभव ही जगत में सर्वश्रेष्ठ है. With the message of Swami Vivekananda, we are indeed thrilled to present to you the Young Lawyers Conference. The theme of this year's conference is the Bharat, My Journey in Black and White, where our distinguished guests will be sharing their insights on their experiences as a young face in the bar. Before moving on to the sessions, I invite Advocate Lakshmi Meenakshi to the stage for Vande Mataram. I kindly request all of you to raise for the recital. Vande Mataram, Vande Mataram, Vande Mataram, Vande Mataram, Sujala Subhala. We are blessed to have with us today honorable dignitaries from various walks of life, converging into a single platform of thought, knowledge and experience. First, I invite Advocate Vivek A.V. to present the welcome address.
It's kind of a panicky situation right now for me. Kindly excuse in case of any mistakes. Arise, awake, and don't stop until the God is finished. Respected dignitaries on of dice, honorable judges, senior advocates, fellow brothers and sisters at the bar, and public lawyers. Good evening. Being a young lawyer is like an infant taking his first step. There will be challenges and troubles in all of them, but it should never stop you from walking and running ahead. The Young Lawyers Conference is organized by the Bharatiya Abhibhashaka Parishad with the objective of providing an insight and opportunity to the young lawyers to interact, understand, and learn from the stalwarts of the legal profession. The diversity of the panels are always unique. This year is absolutely not different. With the hope that each and every one of you will be able to take something home from this session, I move to begin. Firstly, I welcome Advocate Vishnu Jayapalan, President of the session, and my elder brother at the bar. He has been a constant support and pillar of strength to all junior lawyers, including myself. I welcome Advocate Vishnu Jayapalan to this year's conference. First step is always the most difficult. Every great action demands a first step, and for this conference, it is the inauguration. I am grateful to Honorable Chief Justice Mr. Desai sir for consenting to inaugurate this year's Young Lawyers Conference. His Lordship's compassionate views and erudite judgments are truly remarkable and always addresses the suffering and needs of the poor and needy. I welcome Honorable Mr. Justice Desai sir on behalf of myself and on behalf of the party Abhivasha Parishad. Swami Vivekananda ji is an inspiration not just to the youth of India but to the youth across the world. To reflect upon his teachings and to inspire the young lawyers is not an easy task. We have with us Swami Ramachandran ji, President of Ramachandran, Kochi, as to explain and to commemorate the birth anniversary of Swami Vivekananda. I welcome Swami Ramachandran on behalf of myself and on behalf of Bharati Abhivasha Parishad. To conduct any public event requires detailed planning and organizing combined with the ability to solve any kinds of problems and challenges that may come up. Fortunately, we have the best of minds to guide us and to show us the path. The first among them is Dr. M. Rajendra Kumar, State President, Bharati Abhivasha Parishad. Sir, I welcome you to this year's conference. When it comes to problem solving, the next best option for us is none other than Advocate Sheila Devi, our beloved Sheila Chechi, High Court Unit President of Bharati Abhivasha Parishad. Madam, I welcome Advocate Sheila Chechi to this year's conference. To voice the possible challenges is a difficult but essential task. It helps us to foresee the obstacles before they hit us. We have with us the foresighted Advocate M.N. Manmathan, Ernakulam District President, to help us to deal with the problems before they reach us. I welcome Advocate M.N. Manmathan, sir, to this year's conference. I also welcome Advocate Alka Valle, Member of Organizing Committee. The success of any public event is based on the number of people attending it. The participants are the true secret ingredient that makes a conference success. We are privileged to have the best among the legal fraternity blessing us with their presence. I am privileged to welcome the Honorable Judges, including Honorable Justice Devendra sir, senior advocates, and each and every one of my fellow brothers and sisters at the bar and the budding lawyers to this year's conference. If I skipped any names, I extend my apology and I welcome each and every one of you from the bottom of my heart on behalf of myself and on behalf of the Bharati Abhivasha Parishad. Thank you.
Next, I invite Advocate Vishnu J. Balan to deliver the presidential address.
Respected Chief Justice, His Lordship Mr. Justice A.J. Desai, His Holiness Swami Gunatmananda, Honorable Judges in the audience, dignitaries on and off the dais, respected seniors, fellow members of the bar and dear students. Today, I am blessed with the privilege of sharing this dais with two titans in their respective fields, one in law and the other in the realm of spirituality. These are two realms which do not usually mix. One relies on exalted principles of law and strict adherence to facts and rational churning of both. The other dwells into the mysteries of the cosmos, seeking answers to the reason of existence itself. However, these two rivers meet. And when they meet, they mix and flow together into the sea of humanity. They both bring order and stability to society by balancing the answers to questions of life with answers to questions in life. A healthy marriage between the two is key and essential for a modern society which aspires progress and stability. In a film, many of you may know, Hateful Eight, one of the less celebrated works of Quentin Tarantino, celebrated director, there is a dialogue delivered by a character, Osvaldo Mobre, where he says, "The man who pulls the lever that breaks your neck will be a dispassionate man, and that dispassion is the very essence of justice. For justice delivered without dispassion is always in danger of not being justice." This disconnection from inner passions is achieved by great strength and moral courage from within. This is where rationality and spirituality converge and diverge, together forming shades of grey. It is within these shades of grey that the two realms, rivers of spirituality and law, mix and supplement each other. On this occasion, we must remember one person who took it as his mission, not just to impart spiritual knowledge, but to integrate it with practical life, fostering a holistic development of the individual. Tomorrow, on January 12th, we celebrate this 161st birth anniversary of Swami Vivekananda, the sage, philosopher and missionary. The noted Malayalam poet Madhusudanan Nair wrote in his poem Bharatiyam, ആണ്ടേക്കുരുവിൽ ഒരു ഓഗസ്റ്റ് 15-ന് അരുമയായി നുണയുന്ന മധുരമോ ഭാരതം, അച്ഛൻ പഠിപ്പിച്ച വാചാപ്രസംഗത്തിൽ ഉച്ചത്തിൽ ഓതേണ്ട വാക്കിലോ ഭാരതം. Translated, it means, is Bharat just a sweet treat one would enjoy on August 15th? Is it just a word we have to say loudly in a speech prepared by your father? The poet laments that it is not the mechanical celebration of the day that we need. Bharat is an emotion which we have to relate to and carry it in our hearts. It is the same with Swamiji. We all have seen posters and placards of Swamiji flooding our streets every January 12th. But we do not see his words or vision in action. The youth of this country do not know how a man from Bengal, adorned in saffron drops, traveled across the seas and captured the imagination of the world, breaking stereotypes, breaking image of a country long lost, long forgotten and awfully typecast. Today, we present the Young Lawyers Conference, inspired and in commemoration of the teachings of Swami Vivekananda, who urged the youth of this country to overcome their fear and insecurities, to rise up and be the change they want to see in the world. Today's youth, faced with a plethora of choices and uncertainties, in a world grappling with rapid changes, one can find inspiration in Vivekananda's message to confront challenges with courage and resilience. In a time where differences often lead to division and conflict, Vivekananda's teachings inspire a spirit of inclusivity and understanding, fostering a sense of unity in diversity. We have with us eminent personalities on the dais to enlighten us and guide us on the theme of the program. On this note, I conclude my words and leave the stage open. Thank you.
Now I invite our Honorable Mr. Justice A.J. Desai sir to light the lamp and formally inaugurate the session. And I invite other dignitaries on the dais to inaugurate the function. We are honored to be in the presence of Honorable Mr. Justice A.J. Desai sir, Chief Justice of Kerala High Court. We request you sir to deliver the inaugural address.
Brother Justice Ramachandran, Judge High Court of Kerala, Bhavatmanand Swamiji of Sri Ramakrishna Math, Srimati Sumati Nandapani, Senior Advocate High Court of Kerala, Sri Vinod Bhatt, Advocate High Court of Kerala, respected senior advocates, other office bearers of Bharatiya Abhibhasha Parishad, my dear junior lawyers, dear law students, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening to all of you. I am immensely happy to participate in this Young Lawyers Conference organized by the Bharatiya Abhibhasha Parishad on the occasion of Swami Vivekananda Jayanti, is a befitting tribute to one of the most celebrated spiritual leaders of India, whose teaching continue to illuminate and guide our paths. As we gather here for this Young Lawyers Conference, we celebrate not just the legacy of great thinker, but also the vibrancy and promise within our legal community. Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose once said, Swamiji harmonized the East and the West, religion and science, past and present, and that is why he is great. Our countrymen have gained unprecedented self-respect, self-reliance and self-assertion from his teachings. Swami Vivekananda's message of fearlessness, strength and resilience in pursuit of truth resonates deeply with the principles that underpin the legal profession. His emphasis on service, integrity and the relentless quest for justice serves as an enduring beacon for all of us, especially the young mind entering the legal arena. While remembering Swami Vivekananda, it is worthwhile to mention the speech made by him in the year 1893 at the World's Parliament of Religion in Chicago, representing India. His famous speech began with the words "Sister and Brothers of America," which received a standing ovation. This address introduced India's culture to the Western audience and emphasized the universality of religion. Today we acknowledge the significance of this day by not only honoring Swami Vivekananda's ideas, but also by recognizing the pivotal role that the youth play in shaping the future of our legal system. Your passion, enthusiasm and fresh perspective are invaluable assets that will steer the course of justice in our society. As young lawyers, you are entrusted with responsibility of upholding the sanctity of law and justice. Your dedication to the pursuit of truth and fairness must be unwavering, and your commitment to ethical practice unquestionable. Remember that the power vested in you comes with the profound responsibility of safeguarding the rights and liberties of every individual. This conference serves a platform for exchange, learning and mentorship, a space where seasoned legal minds coverage with budding talent, fostering an environment of growth and mutual understanding. I encourage you all to make the most of this opportunity, engaging in discussing, forging connections and imbibing the wisdom for experiences shared here. Let us pledge to embody the spirit of Swami Vivekananda in our legal practice, advocating for justice with unwavering determination, compassion and integrity. May this conference ignite the flames of inspiration within each of you, propelling you to become the torchbearers of justice in our society. The thoughts and teaching of Swami Vivekananda continue to be highly relevant to the youth of today. His message of self-reliance, the unity of all religions, and the importance of education are all important lessons that can help young people to navigate the challenges and opportunities of the modern world. The teaching of Swami Vivekananda have potential to inspire future generations to lead more fulfilling and meaningful lives by developing their own inner strength and potential, serving others and promoting peace, unity and harmony in the world. As we continue to face many societal and economic issues, we look to the wisdom of his great spiritual leader for guidance and inspiration. Rabindranath Tagore suggested, if you want to know India, study Vivekananda. In him, everything is positive and nothing negative. One may wonder that a spiritual icon is none other than the son of successful attorney Vishwanath Datta, who made indelible imprints in the pursuit of his profession. This conference, oriented by young lawyers, can be assigned more of a relevance when viewed in this context. I think the platform is proper for the young lawyers to reassert themselves to the values which Swami Vivekananda was preaching for. On this occasion, I sincerely hope that the conference will be a fulfilling one, and I wish all success to this event. Before concluding, I would like to quote the words of Swami Vivekananda. I quote, "All that man has to do is to take care of three things: good thought, good word, good deed. Unquote. I am delighted to formally inaugurate the Young Lawyers Conference organized on the occasion of Swami Vivekananda Jayanti. I wish you all a fruitful and enlightening conference ahead. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. It is indeed a blessing to welcome Pujaniya Swami Bhuvanatmananda, who has graciously accepted our invitation to address the young lawyers of the bar. I request Swamiji to deliver the message on account of National Youth Day.
Om Sri Gurubhyo Namah Hari Om Namah Shri Tirajaya Vivekananda Suraye Satchit Sukha Swarupaya Swamine Tapaharine Asatoma Satyamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya. I am proud to stand here in this august assembly. Chief Justice, other justices, eminent lawyers, and a herd of wonderful people I find here, the promising India, here in front of me. As all of you are aware, Swami Vivekananda was Narendra. He was a student of law. And his father was the attorney of Calcutta High Court. So it is very unique and meaningful that the lawyers fraternity is giving a tribute to Swamiji on the eve of his birthday. Tomorrow, 12th January, is the day he was born, and today is the 11th evening. We celebrate Christmas Eve just before the birth of Christ. So also, it is a wonderful occasion you chose to celebrate Swami Vivekananda's birthday eve. It's a unique opportunity. Really, I am really excited. I do not know how to do justice to Swamiji in front of you, so many justices and lawyers and all. I do not know how to do this. But the life of Swami Vivekananda is so inspiring, as our Chief Justice just now told. It is for 1500 years that he left his message. He got it from his Guru, Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa. And you know, our Chief Justice hails from Gujarat. Swami Vivekananda lived there nearly 1 year, 9 months he stayed. And Ahmedabad and Baroda and Porbandar and Rajkot, all these areas he stayed, and he loved the place and the people so much because of their commitment, because of dedication, because of their love for the nation. 9 months he stayed there. That is the longest period Swami stayed in any of his wandering period. And this Swamiji, about his birth, Sri Ramakrishna had a vision, his Guru had a vision. He was meditating and his mind went floating. Reached such a highest realm, there he found brilliant light, and there he found 7 rishis are in meditation. 7 rishis were in meditation. And this condensed light took the form of a child, a bright child. This child was trotting towards the rishis and approached one rishi and clasped his neck and muttered in his ear, "My child." This child is telling the rishi that, "My child, I am going down to the earth Would you come with me? And this Rishi nodded his head, partially opened his eyes. And when Narendra was born in Calcutta on 12th January, Sri Ramakrishna explained, I knew that he has gone. I prayed to Divine Mother, Mother, bind him to the earth, otherwise he will give up his body in meditation. So much of work we have to do for the humanity. And this Rishi came down to the earth for the upliftment of humanity, not for one nation or one people. He came down to the earth to uplift the humanity. What is the goal of humanity? To raise to this rishihood. That's what Swami said. You all have to become rishis, seers of the truth, seeing the truth, experiencing truth. That's the purpose of life. All of us want freedom. Freedom is the word. We all want freedom. Why freedom? There only we have joy. There only we can experience bliss. Who does not want this? Every being in the earth wants this freedom and bliss in living. And this is the birthright of every human being. But unfortunately, many of us, we are searching this happiness, this joy in pursuit of our career and so many other things we are searching, but utterly fail. Whatever state of highest office you possess, whether the President of India or the Chief Justice or whatever it may be, the pursuit is for the inner joy, inner happiness. Nothing can bring us unless we experience it within us. What makes us experience this bliss inside? A little going inside. We are seeking everything outside, but when you seek this bliss within, it is there. That is our real possession. It is our own nature, but we are seeking it outside and miss the fun of life. Whole life is actually a fun. It is a wonderful bliss, the whole life, but we miss it in pursuit of our seeking joy, happiness, everything outside. But if you try to look inside, you can experience this. And for that, Swami Vivekananda proposed 4 methods that will uplift every human being on earth to raise this rishihood, to become free. Freedom, that's the goal of life. Each soul is potentially divine, says Swami. All of us are divine, but we are not aware. We limit ourselves. We limit ourselves to so and so, confine ourselves to so and so, and try to establish ourselves. There we fail. If you break our limitation that I am so and so, and if you try to feel that you are the divine child, you are the bliss, embodiment of bliss, nothing can stop you. Swami's life showed the same thing. He expressed the divinity within, and everybody felt it. The troubles and tribulations which he underwent is unimaginable for everyone. Reading his life is like reading a thriller novel. Such eventful, marvelous was his life. So our time, I know it is very limited, so I am not going into the details. How to become freedom? Swami said, all of us are bound to work. And this work, we have to transform into worship. That's the way. Do any work, every work, but let it be the worship of truth, that is God. Be truthful, that's the only sadhana in this world. Nothing else. And whatever way, however wealth or possession you accumulate or achieve, everything will drop off. Nothing will remain. But if you pursue for this truth through your work, when it is turned as selfless, that's how it becomes worship. When you are unselfish, when your work becomes selfless, if it is for the good of others, definitely you will enjoy this bliss. You cannot make others happy or you cannot help others by giving something or something else. When you remain yourself happy and blissful, definitely others also will feel happy and blissful in your presence. It is not by giving certain things. So work means with this attitude, open your heart. This is what Swami says. Open your heart. Feel India. Feel for the people. Then whatever you do, it will become worship. That's the way you can do the work. And second thing, worship. Our worship is for our selfishness. You seek certain things. You go to Sabarimala praying for this or that. Let me have a child, let me have a job. So many things you have prayer. That worship is of no use. All the things are there. Real worship, that is the prayer for the feeling, the elevation of our mind is real love, expression of love. There comes tyaga, renunciation. You forget yourself. A mother will jump in front of a tiger out of love. You can face anything out of love, and that becomes a service, that becomes a worship. To elevate our mind to such a higher level, that is called bhakti, devotion. That this love is expressed in tyaga. So work and worship, and then comes the pursuit of knowledge. We all are eager to learn. What you want to know, the truth. And what is the truth? You are the truth. We ourselves are the truth. Just to find it out, and the scriptures give us guidelines. Who are you? Go to the Upanishads, go to the Gita, go to the spiritual scriptures of any religion or anything. Everything points to the simple truth. You have to practice this discrimination, what is right and what is wrong, what is permanent and what is non-permanent, what is nitya and what is leela. When you know the nitya, the permanent one, you are unperturbed. Then comes a practice of a little bit of solitude to control your mind. Yama, Niyama, Adi, Ashtanga Yoga, that's what Swami prescribed. That is Raja Yoga, Karma Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, Jnana Yoga and Raja Yoga. These are the four paths by which one can attain this freedom, by practicing one or more or by all of these and be free. This is all of religion. All of us want to be free. All of us want to be fearless. All of us want to face the problems in the life, and everything is within us. Just discover, uncover our potential. This is the message of Swamiji. Each soul is potentially divine. The goal is to manifest this divinity within by controlling nature, external and internal. We should have some control over ourselves as well as our circumstances. Then you can practice this worship, work, study and meditation. You can achieve this freedom and your life become fulfilled, blessed, blissful, and it will be for the humanity. So the new yoga that Swamiji prescribed is Seva Yoga. Seva Yoga. That's the method for the modern age. Serve others as God. God is not only in the temples, it's a place of worship. But the real object of worship, according to Swamiji and Sri Ramakrishna, is human beings, the suffering human beings. If you are able to serve them, you are worshipping living God. And if you trouble anybody for your own sake, Swamiji says you will go to hell. And if anybody is suffering, it's only because of his karma, these actions, which is done unselfishly. Unselfish action is the real worship, and that's the real worship of God in human beings, in the suffering human beings. This is called Seva Yoga, and thank you all for giving me this great opportunity. My humble namaskaram, pranam to our Chief Justice sir, Devraj sir, Ramachandran sir, and so many other people whom I know here. And wish you a very, very happy National Youth Day. One more point I just want to tell. Once our Swamiji, Gautamananda Swamiji came here, there was a function for youth, National Youth Day function. Somebody said, Swamiji, this audience, not many youths are coming nowadays. So Swamiji said, doesn't matter. Whoever reads Swamiji, they will become young. Whoever reads Swamiji, they will become young. So you can be more young, more vigorous by reading Swamiji and imbibing this idea, and let these ideas give us strength and courage to do something for society. With this prayer, Sarve bhavantu sukhinas, sarve santu niramaya, sarve bhadrani pashyantu, ma kaschit dukha bhag bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Thank you all.
Thank you, Swamiji. We will be now dignitaries. I invite Dr. M. Rajendra Kumar sir to present the memento to Honorable Justice A.J. Desai. I invite Advocate I. Sheila Devi to present the memento to Pujaniya Swami Bhuvanatmananda. I request Advocate Alka Warrior to deliver the vote of thanks.
Respected dignitaries on and off the dais, I deem it a great honor and privilege to propose a vote of thanks on this memorable session. Let me first start by giving a glory to the God Almighty, without whose blessings this wouldn't have been possible. First and foremost, I thank Honorable Mr. Justice A.J. Desai sir, Chief Justice, High Court of Kerala, for gracing this session despite his busy schedule. Thank you very much, sir. Now, I thank Swami Bhuvanatmananda Saraswati Ramakrishna for his enlightening words and thoughts. Thank you. Now, I express my sincere gratitude and gratefulness to Advocate Dr. M. Rajendra Kumar sir, BAP State President, Advocate I. Sheila Devi ma'am, BAP High Court Unit President, and Advocate M. N. Manmohan sir, Ernakulam District President, Bharatiya Abhibhashaka Parishad. Thank you so much. Your constant encouragement has always bolstered all our endeavors. I am much grateful to Advocate Vivek A.V. and Advocate Vishnu Jayapalan for their constant support all throughout the session. Much obliged and much thankful to all of you. Last but never the least, grateful to all your presence and valuable time. Thank you so much.
Well, that was a pleasant start with the first session to this lovely gathering and evening. With that, we will be commencing the second session for the evening shortly. I request everyone to be kindly seated and ensure your continued participation in the second session as well. Thank you all.
Long session, I believe. Started already. Going home or just from there? Oh, you're still here? Yes, sir. We'll speak loud so we can hear. We'll speak very loud so you can hear. Okay. Sure. Thank you, sir.
all feeling young now. Every soul is divine, potentially divine.
Welcome to one and all. We will be starting the second session, The Bear Act, My Journey in Black and White. We warmly invite the distinguished panelist for this evening, Honorable Mr. Justice Devan Ramachandran, Senior Advocate Sumati Dandapani, Advocate Vinod Bhatt onto the dais.
May I now invite all the honorable dignitaries onto the dais. Honorable Mr. Justice Devan Ramachandran, Senior Advocate Sumati Dandapani, and Advocate Vinod Bhatt, the distinguished panelists for the second session, The Bear Act, My Journey in Black and White. May I also request Advocate Kiran MS to join the distinguished panelists on the dais.
We invite Advocate S. Krishna as moderator for the session. I invite Advocate Anu Balakrishnan Nambiyar for the welcome address.
Practice virtue, persevere in virtue, become established in virtue, shine as an embodiment of noblest virtue and heroic adherence to goodness. Youth is meant for this grand process. Youth life is the active development and fulfillment of these processes. These words of Swami Vivekananda resonates the energy of the youth and calls for a progressive march towards betterment and success. With profound joy, I am honored with the duty to welcome our dignitaries to the second session of the Young Lawyers Conference. Our guests need no introduction as we have had the privilege to indulge or rather engage in bittersweet encounters on and off the bench, overwhelming us with their charismatic performance in court. First, I welcome Honorable Mr. Justice Devan Ramachandran sir, whose enthusiasm and encouragement has become a beacon of inspiration to young lawyers at the bar. It is an absolute pleasure to welcome you, sir. Next, we are privileged to have with us Senior Advocate Srimati Sumati Dandapani Madam. With over 56 years of practice, Srimati Sumati Madam has carved an illustrious career in litigation, even in an era where opportunities for women lawyers were too hard to come by. We welcome you, Madam. are also delighted to welcome Advocate Sri Vinod sir, who has captivated us with his brilliant encounters in our court halls. Sir is an architect of his own successful practice in law, owing to his dedication and commitment to the legal profession. We would proudly say that Sir would be the most inspiring voice of first-generation lawyers who seek to build a career in law. We welcome you, Sir. Lastly, I wholeheartedly welcome all the young lawyers of the bar who have gathered here to ignite an intriguing interaction with our honorable guest today. Thank you.
Good evening, one and all. Honorable Mr. Justice Ramachandran, Senior Advocate Sumati Dandapani, Advocate Vinod, Advocate Kiran M.S., other dignitaries on and off the dais, Honorable Judges, Senior Advocates, and all the young lawyers who have graced this occasion with your presence. I welcome you all to the second session of the Young Lawyers Conference, The Bear Act, My Journey in Black and White. To quote Sri Falias Nariman, the doyen of Indian judiciary, once you become an advocate, you become a student of law for life. Becoming an advocate is both a responsibility and a badge of honor. While the journey in black and white may be different for each lawyer, the underlying theme is all about passion, perseverance, and persuasion. With this thought in mind, we hold an interactive session with those members from the bench and the bar whose journey has been remarkable and inspiring. The eminent panelists share with us their story, their trials and tribulations, and how they have weathered quite a few storms to be where they are now. As every year, this year's distinguished panelist is also the collective choice of the young members of our bar. On behalf of one and all, I invite our panelists, Honorable Mr. Justice Ramachandran, Senior Advocate Sumati Dandapani, and Advocate Vinod to the session. Without much ado, let us begin the session, The Bear Act, My Journey in Black and White. Honorable Mr. Justice Ramachandran, His Lordship epitomizes the adage, judges speak through their judgment. Known for his empathetic take on issues of social relevance, His Lordship gave his signature of compassion, rationale, and practical wisdom in his judgments. To quote His Lordship, courts are meant not only for reported decisions, but to ensure that justice is delivered to the one who needs it the most and who deserves it the most. I know I am echoing the voice of the young lawyer fraternity when I say that it is in Justice Ramachandran's court that we were probably acknowledged first, where our names were asked and recorded in judgments, where we shared our inhibitions of an novice and made submissions with the wholehearted encouragement by the bench, and from where we all came out with more confidence and with a wider smile of satisfaction. Sir, we all are really privileged to have you with us today. May I invite you to address the august gathering.
Good evening, and I am 33 years young at the bar. So, there is only one person who is younger than me, that is Sumati Madam. It's 56 years young at the bar. Yeah. Younger than me. When you speak of young lawyers, I was always thinking about this. What really is young? If you're talking about being young numerologically, perhaps I have crossed that, perhaps so. But as a lawyer, you are always young. You can't really grow up as a lawyer because the vista is so endless. To say that I have become a senior, or I'm not talking about designation, which I was also privileged to get at my time. But a young lawyer is somebody who understands that the profession of law is something more than an evocation. It is a passion. Who is really a young person? Somebody who holds that passion within himself or herself. What do you attribute to a young person normally? What do you talk about a youth? When we speak about a youth, when we speak about young people, Swamiji was saying that if you read Swami Vivekananda, you become young. Vivekananda actually died young. He was only 39. And Swamiji, for your information, I've said this in many stages. I have shared with Swami Bhuvanatmananda that Vivekananda Swamigal is one person who has left an indelible imprint in my mind. I was introduced to the teachings and works of Swamiji by my Guru Justice V.R. Krishnaya, whom I have said this earlier also. He is perhaps one of those very few judges in whose judgments, whether it is written here or in the Supreme Court, you will find the liberal embellishments of the teachings of both Rabindranath Tagore, Guruji, and Vivekananda Swami. So I was initiated into that great vista of knowledge by my Guru. And I started reading Vivekananda Swamigal solely to impress him. But I've said this before, I had that 5-10 minutes a day, every day with my Guru. And on one day he would speak about Vivekananda Swamigal, and I would go back and mug up everything I could have about Vivekananda so that I can go and impress him the next day. Then he would talk about Tagore. Fair enough, I'll go back, read Gitanjali, read everything that I can on Guruji and come back. He would talk about something else. So this is how he opened me up into that large area which is really virgin to or was virgin to. Very truly imbued by what Vivekananda Swamigal said. Particularly the exhortation he made to his disciples from Madras. He said, feel my children. Feel for the poor, feel for the downtrodden. Feel until your heart aches and your head reels. And you feel that you are completely weak. Then pour out your heart, pour out your soul in the feet of the Lord, and you get indomitable energy. This is just a prelude to what I was trying to tell you, because when we speak about Swami Vivekananda, there is one thing which in my mind is the most unique and the most compelling: strength of character. And this is a true tribute to Swami Vivekananda when lawyers speak about the strength of character, because I believe that our profession is one which it should now revisit the concepts of character, the concept of strength of character, the concepts of truth, and the concepts of righteousness, virtuosity, everything else which unfortunately these days are generally now accepted to be old-fashioned. I do not know why. These are the basic precepts of any human existence. Truth, virtuosity, the ability to carry yourself with complete strength. These are things which can never go out of fashion. But look at what is happening around you. You feel that after all, everything goes on in a particular flux. You move on, you then live for yourself, and then you define success in matters which are completely irrelevant and without any true value. Exactly what Swami Bhuvanatmananda was saying, because success is always measured by the manner in which you carry that character within you. Why is it that when we talk about character, when we talk about the strength of righteousness, why is it that it is frowned upon these days? Why is it that when we were young, we were told that the means would justify the end? Why is it that today we seem to understand or seem to believe rather puerilely that the end would justify the means? This is where again, as the Swamiji was saying, the concept of selflessness, the concept of acting without selfishness becomes very important. Profession of law, as you have all experienced and loved, is something that is so breezy that it is very difficult to define it. I began my career, I began my journey on the 9th of March 1991. I remember the first day I joined my father, and the privilege of being a second generation lawyer vis-a-vis our Vinod, who will speak about being a first generation lawyer, was that the very first day you have something to argue. Your senior would keep something very easy for you to argue and impress the judges. I am reminded of that old aphorism we talk about lawyers. They say that there are 3 stages for lawyers. The first is where you have no work and no money. The second is where you have some work but no money. There are 4 stages, sorry. And the third is where you have work and money. And the last is where you don't require work, you have so much of money. So this is what they talk about, the 4 stages of lawyers generally. I do not know how much of us would be able to experience that as we go along. It takes a long time for you to traverse those 4 things. But then I remember when I joined the bar, I joined my father's office as a very new young lawyer. I had stars in my eyes. I really did not know what I was going to experience or to confront. Perhaps I joined the bar because I saw my father very glamorous, because by then he had become slightly senior, so he had the privilege of some facilities in life. It just took me, I think, 4 days for me to understand that my dreams are just crashing. It was one of the most difficult things I had ever experienced, because from the law college, where studies is something which is pretty easy to employ a very easy phraseology, to an office of a lion's den, as I would call it, where discipline was very important, timing was very important. I had never sat in a chair for more than maybe 15 minutes. Even in a classroom, we would be fidgeting when the professor would take his class more than half an hour. Law college, after all, we would possibly jump through the window or something. Government law college, people who know this know what I'm talking about. But then I was asked to sit. I remember I was asked to come to the office at 8 o'clock, if I remember. For me, those days, that was a time which was early morning, something which I had not seen many times. And then I would have to sit till 10 o'clock doing nothing. I had, really speaking, no clients to cater to and nothing to read or anything. And then my senior says, if you really want to spend your time well, start reading. We did not have the devices that you have now, fortunately. So no Facebook, no Instagram, no television. There was hardly any television either. So 1991, which is not really very far away, very old, it's just about 33 years from as we speak. The only option that we had was to then start reading, or then making sure that we spend our time profitably. But that is where I got my first glimpse of what this profession is. The essence of this profession really is to add value to yourself. This is my take on the profession with the 33 years that I've spent in this line. Where you add value, every experience that you have, every case that you argue, every proposition that you develop, every litigation that you handle, it should be a method of adding value to yourself. You are not in this profession for somebody else. I don't work for my senior, I don't work for an office, I don't work for a partner. I work for myself. I work so that I become better. And I become better not in years, I become better in hours, in days. If you cannot tell yourself that you are better today than I was yesterday, you have not done well in the profession. It is not the value of money that you have, the color of the car that you have parked in your garage, or the size of your house that makes a good lawyer. A good lawyer is much beyond all this. A good lawyer is really defined by the reputation that you always are able to garner or develop in the years that you have. It's a very slow cooked process. It is not something that you can get over the night. You cannot get a reputation in a year or even 10 years. When I joined the bar, I was in fact guided by the inimitable Shivashankar Panikar sir. For the youngsters who are here, Panikar sir is the father of Justice K.S. Radhakrishnan. So he was telling me that, look, in our times, as perhaps Nambudiri sir and all those will tell you, a good lawyer would be when you are 55 or 65. That is when you start testing and tasting the success that comes to you. About 40 or 30 years of practice. Generations have changed, perhaps the concepts of success is different. But essentially, all this boils down to one thing, which is adding value to yourself. Keep that in mind. I've spoken about this in various stages, and perhaps those who have heard me then would have heard me earlier. But the simple fact of the matter is the profession depends upon you developing value to yourself every passing day, every passing hour. This is the fundamental of it, because on that depends your reputation that you gather. However knowledgeable you are, however good you are, unless your clients, the lawyers and the judges and the peer group decides that you are good, which is essentially your reputation, you are nothing. However good you are, if the reputation that you garner is that you are not good, you are finished. You are not a good lawyer. That's it. It doesn't matter what is within you. Nobody, burrows into your heart or to your brain to find out whether you are good or bad. So essentially, the question that we have to, the aspect that we have to keep in mind is that importance of reputation that a lawyer has to garner as we go along in the journey that we have. We do not know what kind of reputation we generally enjoy, but then it is fairly available from your peer group or from the people that you interact. And for this, I said it's a very slow cook process. Go slow, take your time, develop yourself, add value, and then make sure that you are bettering every moment. In corollary to this is one aspect which I want to say. If I am asked to speak like this, I would possibly go on for hours. But then I'll confine myself to the next maybe 2-3 minutes and I'll stop there. This is something which I wanted the young bar also to know or to reflect upon. When we speak about the profession as a whole, or the profession as the soul of what we are doing these days. This is the time of digitization and all the technology. I was in the National Judicial Academy last weekend. We were talking about the information technology and the march that we are making. The question really was, can machines substitute human beings? Can machines take over as lawyers or as judges? Definitely not, because every litigation is a human problem. It is not a machine problem. Everything that you see in these courts deals with the life of an individual. It is not something that we can brush down very easily. This is the responsibility we have as lawyers. It's the same among doctors also, I would assume. Every person who comes to you, every client who comes in search of you, every client who finally ends up in your office is in search of solace. Jocularly, we would possibly say that there are two classes of people whom nobody would like to go to, a doctor and a lawyer. A doctor perhaps is inevitable. Some point of your life, you may have to have doctors. But take it from me, an average person would never like to see a lawyer. And I'm sure that Swami Bhuvanatmananda is happy that he's here as a guest and not in the court. He's seen the court, but without seeing what happens in our court. So the responsibility that a young lawyer has is that recognize the importance of the task that has been given to you by the destiny. This is something that we don't recognize, and this is something that we don't really deal with on a regular basis. We tend to forget because we are in a march for ourselves. We believe that every litigation that you do is something that you do for yourself, and therefore something that is a stepping stone to the next bigger one. But in that context, you see, you must understand, if you feed 1 + 1 to a computer, it will possibly give you 2. It will not give you any other answer. But sometimes, when it is resolution of human conflicts, 1 + 1 would perhaps be 11 also. This is not something which a machine can do. This is the discretion of a human brain. And there, the importance of a lawyer is to understand what is best for your client. I always say this, and this is not something that I have developed, this is something I have learned on my journey until now, is that every proposition that comes to you, every single litigation that reaches you, may have multiple solutions. See, even when you are doing moot courts in law, your teachers would have told you that the more you analyze the facts, the more number of doors and windows that are open. So this is not, it's not a monochrome kind of a situation, because every human issue has multiple options. So among the options, as they say, when we talk about the legal principles we talk about, we say among the options, we are to find out the best, safest and the easiest for our client. You may have a way to the north, to the south, to the east, to the west, right, left, center, back. It all depends upon the assessment that you make, and that is where a lawyer becomes better than the other. After all, we have all learned the same books. We have all been trained by the same system. But why is it that some lawyers are found to be better than the other, or at least reputation-wise? Why do you say that somebody is a doyen where the other does not enjoy that position? It is simply this, because the client thinks that if I go to this lawyer, he will find that position for me which is the easiest, safest and without collateral damage. And that, my dear young brothers and sisters, is the hallmark of a good lawyer. In the doctor's canons of ethics, they talk about one thing. Among the 4 ethics, there is one which is very, very dear to me. It is primum non nocere, non-malfeasance. Beneficence is one principle where we say we do the best for our client, but it is not sufficient for us. In our march to excellence, this is not sufficient. We must explore that avenue which causes the least amount of trouble to the client. This is the principle of non-malfeasance. Not merely malfeasance, non-malfeasance, primum non nocere. This is actually a tenet of the ethics of doctors, but it applies more to lawyers, I would assume, in these days. So our responsibility as we go forward is to analyze the client, to analyze the problem, understand he is a human with the same, the same energy that we hold for ourselves. We are no different from them. It is just that we have been given, through the destiny, the opportunity of affecting and touching lives. And this is where the life of a lawyer is that important. I can go on. I don't want to do that. I'm glad that you are not throwing stones at me yet. I don't want to risk it any further. Lot of other concepts, but then essentially keep this in mind. This is all that we say in courts also. This is all that we are trying to do. Perhaps subconsciously and unconsciously, we are all following this. I'm sure when you argue before me, when you put out a proposal to me, you are all trying your best to help your client. But then, please don't be under the impression that you have attained the best already. The best is yet to come. The best is always yet to come. Keep driving for that. Keep striving for that. Never stop, as Vivekananda Swami will say. Never stop. Continue. That is why I said, I'm 33 years young at the bar. If I've got more time to go at the bar, I hope I'll be better than what I was yesterday and what I am today. Thank you so much. I'll possibly now gladly listen to the youngest of our lawyers here, Sumati Madam. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for that insightful address, where you have enlightened us to the fact that at the end of the day, it all boils down to adding value to ourselves and ensuring that we do the best for our clients. Senior Advocate Sumati Dandapani, one of the only 2 women senior advocates of the Kerala High Court. Sumati ma'am hardly needs an introduction. Her illustrious career in litigation started in the year 1968 with senior designation in the year 2007 and going stronger with years. Her primary practice areas include diverse range of litigation in labor law, service law, civil law, family law and medical law. Sumati ma'am has a unique distinction of serving as a senior counsel for Southern Railway Panel for over a decade. For young lawyers, especially women lawyers, Sumati ma'am embodies grit and determination, whose remarkable career will remain an inspiration for generations to come. On behalf of one and all, I invite Senior Advocate Sumati Dandapani to address us on this august occasion.
Respected Justice Devan Ramachandran, esteemed guests who are gathered on the dais as well as off the dais, distinguished Swamiji, and special attention regarding the young blood in black and white, and good evening to all. Justice Ramachandran said that he is younger than myself. So, before coming to the black and white matter topic, I would like to answer that. And I think this is the apt time also, which I was having in my mind, which I couldn't disclose so far. And getting this opportunity, I think how young he is because I know this is Devan while he was a student in the institute where my children Dandapanis have 2 children, and they were studying in the same same institute. Of course, Mr. Devan, Justice Devan was elder to my daughters. He was in 10th standard, if I remember correct, and he was a captain at that time. And my daughter, Mitu, both my children are in the same line in black and white. And Mitu was at that time studying in 7th standard or so, 6th standard. So I had gone there in that institute for attending a teachers' parents meeting. So I came across a very smart, brilliant boy, and when I inquired, I'm told that is Mr. Devan. He is the captain of the school. So after coming back to the home, I told my daughter, Mitu, I found a very brilliant boy, very vibrant boy as a captain. And because you know, girls won't relish and they'll be a little jealous also. So she asked, so you deem it that Mr. Devan is so smart, Mummy? Yes, I felt so. Then after that I have attended 2 or 3 more meetings there. And while coming back, the first question she will put it to me. Mummy, what was the performance of your son Devan today? So, unknowingly, I will tell you, this is Devan, that you were one of the part and parcel of our family for the last about 35 years. This is the occasion I got to disclose that. So that is one tidbit I thought the best occasion to disclose since we are only dealing with the question of this topic of black and white. Now, coming to this topic of black and white, what fascinated me to come to this profession? Of course, I may tell you, in my family there are about 18 lawyers. And the first 2 brothers-in-law, they married my elder sisters. That is the first brother-in-law, who is no more, Mr. Rekna Singh, has married my first sister at the age of 14 when I was only in the 1st standard. And he is responsible for tying the knot with my second sister with one of his best juniors. So when I was very small and I am seeing these 2 brilliant lawyers in my family, and I had no other option, and I had decided at my childhood itself to follow the pursuit also. And I had not taken any science subject. I had studied only BA with politics and economics, and I followed their footpath. When I joined here in the law college, I was fortunate to come in touch with Mr. Dandapani, and later we became the twin lawyers in the family, plus my younger sister, who is also a lawyer. She also married another lawyer. Thus, in my family itself, there are about 6 lawyers, and fortunately later my son as well as my daughter, they too joined in our profession, and of late my granddaughter. They are, of course, my daughter and granddaughter are at Sydney. She also joined the same profession, and she has completed her post-graduation also in law, international law she has taken. Then she took the solicitor's course, and now she is presently placed with the Chief Justice of Melbourne, and she wants to pursue further for barrister course. So, this is the background, initially how I decided to come to this black and white profession. And I may say that from the very beginning itself, I was fortunate to appear for small matters before the, for example, before the joint the RTOs and for getting permits, because my father was a fleet operator at that time in Malabar. So from the very beginning itself, I may say that I was fortunate to get matters and also sufficient fees also. And looking back, I had no regrets at all for taking this black and white dress. And I would say that but I don't find so much young black and white now here. Most of them are seniors only. So my first advice is, as far as possible, if you have completed only your law graduation, this is the best time that go for taking this master's degree, even if possible, doctorate, and also for barristership, because that will have its own impact when you later practice. And another suggestion that I would like to give to you is, of course, it is not like the earlier periods. When we were attending the colleges, we didn't have any chance to take part in moot or we were not given any projects at all. Unlike earlier, now you have so many avenues in your universities, and you are bound to take part in this moot courts, and you are bound to complete certain projects also. And we find when internees come to our office, they are big lawyers actually. When we give them any problem, it is not at all difficult for them to tackle that. They do it very easily because of the training that is being imparted to them from their universities. But even then, even though you are well versed when you are outside the university, I would suggest that before practicing, it is mandatory, or rather I feel it is compulsory also, that you must have training with some senior lawyers for a minimum period of 2 to 3 years. Formerly, it was, for example, Dandapani's office, there were about 120 lawyers who were trained under us. And I'm very proud to say, even at present, 3 of them are adorning the bench presently. And some of them had with us for about minimum 10 years. But now the training which you are getting, I would say that so much period is not required. And minimum at least you must attend with your seniors for a period of 3 years, so that you will get the tricks, that is, how to tackle the issues when it is confronted with, from the court, and also the nuances of the law, how to tackle when you are arguing against a senior lawyer and all. So to get that experience, you must have minimum, you must attend an office, and instead of starting on your own, I would suggest find out some good seniors, and you must spend your time in the office only and dedicate for that without, for example, when we started, we decided from the scratch itself, we won't take anything from our parents or in-laws, and we also decided that we'll not join any clubs, so that the time which you are having, you can spend in the office itself. Otherwise, if you are joining in some clubs, you'll have to go there, and if you are not on time there, due to the absence, your name may also be struck off from them. So, better in the initial stage, you concentrate in the matter of these legal issues only, and whenever the clients are at your office, you must be at their disposal. And make it a point that when you are given a work, that you must discuss with them very patiently, give them a lot of time, and they must also feel that we have understood that, you have understood that case very thoroughly, and so that with satisfaction he can go from your office. So another thing is, as far as when you start, after some time when you put up practice, you will get files more than what you expect. Then also you must keep it in mind that the matter which has been entrusted to you by one person, as far as he is concerned and his family is concerned, that is more important for him. So much importance we must also impose as far as that all the clients are concerned. Because when you are having, as I have said, better works and more files, you shouldn't discard the persons who have initially entrusted the other matters to you. You must give equal importance to all the clients, then only they too will be happy, and in future also they will approach you. And of course, with respect to these young lawyers, I would say that as far as possible, you must be in the courtrooms so that you can follow the analysis of the new laws and the tricks that has to be played, that is done by the seniors when intricacies, we are facing all the intricacies in the court, so that you can learn all these tricks also from the seniors, and don't waste your time by loitering in the court veranda and spending time like that as in the college. This is Ramachandran has already spoken the area regarding the avenues for the young lawyers to attain, and I'm not repeating that. And there is interaction section also. So I would I give all the best to all the young blood who are in now black and white, and bestow your attention in this profession, and you will come up very successfully, because you know we were in this field for the last 54 years, and after a period of about 35 years, I may very proudly tell you that we were the twin lawyers who were given the status of senior advocates, that two twin lawyers for the first time in India, that myself and my partner were given this status, that is in the year 2006. That is only due to the hard work and persuasion only. I may say that we could attain this position, in that too side by side in the year 2006. So you can achieve by your hard work, by your dedication, by setting aside your entire time for this profession, and you will be benefited, and you will be able to attain whatever you aim. And the young lawyers, only thing is, you have to spend most of your time in your office only, and then you will achieve more than what you really aspire for. All the best to the young bloods in black and white, once again.
Respected seniors, Swamiji, and my dear friends, it's with a purpose that I told my dear sister Krishna not to give any introduction about myself. The purpose will be known to you a little later. Now, during the Christmas vacation, one of the organizers of this event, Advocate Rahul, called me when I was in Udupi, where I was enjoying the hospitality of my mother-in-law, happily eating and then sleeping and doing nothing else. And then Rahul just wakes me up, gives me a shock, says that, sir, you have to deliver a speech to inspire the young lawyers. I said, well, I am too young for it, and why should I be there? And then Rahul said, sir, you are different, and therefore we would like to hear you. Well, partly he is right. I am quite different. You know it very well. For what reason it is. But then I just asked him, who else is with me? And then he said, Justice Devan sir is there. And I said, what is my role in? Why? Then what am I there for? He said, just to fill the number. Well, because he's a complete package, and therefore once he delivers his speech, I'm sure nothing more is required. But then he's different from what I am. Very much different, I should say. And after hearing the speech of Devan sir and Sumati madam, it's something like we have seen the innings played by Virat Kohli and maybe his partner Ravindra Jadeja or somebody like that. And then the last man, Advocate Vinod, but walks in. And still, I'm amazed that there are so many people still here to hear me. Maybe I saving my wicket saves the game for India. So I thank you very much for being here. And before I say something about myself, I should also say that Advocate Lakshmi Meenakshi, who sung Vande Mataram, was really awesome. Absolutely fantastic. If she's here, I think she should be on the stage now. I don't see her. Anyway, she's too small. She's running to the stage. Please do come. Excellent. Yeah. Now, I just start with a story. Long ago, maybe sometime in the 80s, in one school studied two children, two boys, one senior to the other by say about 5 to 6 years. Now, the senior boy, he was extremely good on the academic side, and whatever he touches, it just turned gold. He just used to bring laurels for the school. He was something like the blue-eyed boy of the teachers. And what about the junior boy? The junior boy was an absolute failure. Not good in academics, and he did flunk even in his 7th standard. And then his parents thought, well, so be it. There's no use, spending money on this child's education. It is better that he goes for some other purpose, like something like doing business or some other job. But anyway, the child hearing this, the junior boy hearing this, was really happy for the reason that that is the end of his education, which was really tiring for him. But then, God played a different role. The government policy changed. Comes the headlines next day in the newspaper that you require a minimum qualification of 10th standard even to become a taxi driver in the state of Kerala. Now the parents were quite taken aback, thinking that, my God, if we stop the educational career of this boy, he may not even be a taxi driver tomorrow to earn his livelihood. So let him push forward, let us push him forward. Let us at least see that he is able to complete his 10th standard in whatever way it is possible. Now he somehow completes the 10th standard, and then his friends invite him for joining +2 because he had a few good friends, and inspired by them, he joins the 11th standard. Parents did not stand in his way. They said, okay, if you want to pursue your educational career, so be it, go ahead. Completed 12th, didn't know what to do. One of his friends calls him and says, he wants to join a law college. Can you please accompany me? Anyway, the junior boy, having nothing else in the world to do, joins his friend, and then that friend joins the law college. A little later, he gets a call from the law college saying that you two are to be admitted in the law college. The junior boy had not even heard in his life or did not know the expansion of LLB, the full form of LLB. But then as his friend had joined the college, he too thought, okay, I'll also have some fun in law college, because law college is basically for fun. Because those days you had only students who studied medicine and engineering who did really pursue hard in their studies. Whereas law college was for the fun lovers. Okay, anyway, 5 years, good, we'll have nice time, my friend is also there. Somehow passed his LLB, then didn't know what to do. His mother then thought, okay, he has completed his LLB, let at least I attempt to put him in the hands of a good senior. And therefore, she puts him in the fold of a good lawyer. The junior boy doesn't know whether his senior is good or bad, but whatever it is, he just obeyed what his mother said or mother did. Now, this is the time for me, I think, to introduce the three characters. The blue-eyed boy doesn't require a big Gus. He's here as Justice Devan Ramachandran, who was my senior in school. He may not know it because he was on the other side of the pole. He may not have seen me at all because I was on this side of the pole. He was on the north, I was on the south. Now, where did I land? The junior boy, that's myself, and where was I? Put by my mother. I was placed in the hands of my Guruji, respected R.T. Shanai sir, advocate. Many of you now here may know him very well. He has stopped practice since COVID. Now, all that I want to say is, my journey, as I said to Rahul, that I am quite different for the simple reason that I become a source of inspiration for people here who have throughout their life failed. And somehow, if you try hard, you can at least place yourself or be seated at least next to two senior friends like Devan sir and Sumati madam. So at least to that extent, I am proud of myself to have reached at least this destination. In other words, I should simply say, Devan Ramachandran sir is something like a Vande Bharat for us, who is absolutely super fast, but sometimes what happens is, some disgruntled people, they pelt stones, which he takes with all sort of protection and still surges ahead. And as you know very well, the train is fully packed, and we see the same thing in his courtroom also. It's always packed, and there are a lot of juniors who want to emulate him. And Madam Sumati is something like the Janashatabdi for us, loved by all people, and then she has her own way of going ahead, and she surges ahead very quietly. And so, therefore, I would say Devan Ramachandran is Vande Bharat and Madam Sumati is Janashatabdi. Now the question is, who am I then? That I leave it to your wild or mild imagination. But all that I would say is, Vande Bharat, Janashatabdi and my train run on the same track. So therefore, I know that I am on the safe track or on the right track, and all that I would request my friends here is, I can't because I am too young to advise you, and advisors have already gone from this side to the other side through Devan sir as well as through Sumati madam. So I am not going to advise you in any way. All that I would say is, my train is running and my journey in black and white is still continuing. I would take any questions from your end, but then I don't think I have to expose myself too much, because that's something which I don't like doing too much. Today it was difficult for me, having come to this stage. I had to say something about myself, because that could become an inspiration for people who have failed throughout their life, just to show them that there is a ray of hope if you strive hard. I conclude my speech here. I just take any questions from your end. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Vinod sir. That was probably a very heart-touching address. He might have addressed it to all those people who feel like one failure is the end of their career. Whatever he has stated as a source of motivation and inspiration for all of us, irrespective of being a junior or a senior, it has inspired all of us to work harder so that someday we can also match with Vande Bharat and Janashadabdi, as he said. And also about Sumati ma'am's address. Sumati ma'am has taken us through her personal journey, shared vivid memories of her life with us, and she has also given us advices which I am sure will take us long and which will help us go places in future. On behalf of one and all, I thank all of them, all three of the panelists who has come up to the stage and opened up their lives for ourselves. It's not an easy thing to do. And I'm pretty sure they have all touched their chord with all of us. And we are all leaving this auditorium a bit more inspired, a bit more motivated, and a bit more confident. All thanks to our panelists. Let's have a big round of applause for all of our panelists. Let's move on to the second session. It's stated as to be spoken to. It's an interactive session where our eminent panelists will be answering your questions. I think it's a great opportunity for all of us here to, whatever questions we have to put across to these panelists, it's an opportunity for all of us. Vinod sir says it's also an opportunity to pelt stones, but I kindly advise you not to do that in this occasion. Any questions? We have a bunch of questions that we have received in the Google form attached with the registration. Advocate Vivek is there among the audience. If there are no other questions from the audience, Vivek will ask those questions to our panelists. There will be some very interesting questions.
My question is to Vinod sir. So, Devan sir and also Smriti madam have talked about the importance of being at the feet of the senior. Now, in that context, do you consider yourself as a first generation lawyer, or do you consider yourself as carrying the legacy of Shenoy sir?
Thanks for the question. I can now say something about Shenoy sir also. I never felt that I was a first generation lawyer. Though it's a fact that I'm a first generation lawyer, but I did not feel that I was the first generation lawyer. On the first day, that's after my internship, those days we had internship to be done, 1 year internship to be done, where we could not be going and presenting cases in the court. We could just be the listeners there, or we just hear the court, that's it. Now, immediately after I got enrolled, the next day, it was a Sunday, the next day I was told to appear before Justice Balasubramanian, and I was handed with a file. I went through the file and I went and I tried to appear. I say I tried to appear because I had no clue what was happening in the court. I was deaf, dumb and blind. It was my clerk or the office assistant who helped me out, who kept saying something who was standing just next to me, and he just kept saying, please utter what I am telling you, you have to say this for extension of stay, because those words were not coming out from my mouth. So he just kept saying, please sir, please tell the judge you want the stay to be extended. Finally I heard him and I said extension of stay. That comes the question, why should I extend the stay? Well, my clerk did not have a clue as to the answer to it. Neither, obviously